Hey guys. Hey, wow. Good to see you on here. Wow. Geez, we have a wow. I'm really surprised to see how many of you guys are on here and quite happy. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Ah, hey, oh, and Gary's right there on duty. Thank you, Gary, for all you do. Um, I wanted to uh again thank y'all for joining us and good to see you too, Sharon. Um, I guess a couple announcements before we get over to our guest. And let me see. There are a few more, well, quite a few festivals and conferences going on uh, in Pennsylvania during the summer and into the fall. This weekend in Brownsville, Pennsylvania, that's in Fayette County, southwest Pennsylvania. There is the Patsy Hillman Bigfoot Festival. That is in Brownsville, Pennsylvania, uh, Fayette County. You'll have to look it up. It's at Patsy Hillman Park. And let me see what else. I will not be there. I'm sorry. I think originally I was scheduled for it, but I had to back out. As most of you know already, I backed out of uh, all of my um, commitments for this year. All of the festivals, all the conferences that I was scheduled to speak at, and to set up a vendor, set up as a vendor, etc. I just no, I overdid it for the past few years, pushed myself really too much, and this year I'm just taking a break. And so I'll try to, go through. Um, We'll tell you what, if you're a member of the group on Facebook, Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project, get into the featured section. Oh, okay. You're welcome, Melvin. You're welcome. Yep. I'd sent my book to Melvin. Hey, Jeff. Good to see you. Yes, and whoop. Okay, here we go. Yeah, yeah. If you don't know already, and if you're interested, I wrote a book about my adventures and my history in Bigfoot. And if you're interested in purchasing it, send me a message. You can buy it off of Amazon. It's $15 on Amazon Prime, free shipping. But it will not be autographed. If you want an autographed, personalized copy, you'll have to send me a message. I'll autograph it to whoever you want me to autograph it to, and you're welcome, Mark. And just completely lost my train of thought. Yes, if you want to order an autographed copy, send me a message, and that one is $20, and that's only to cover the cost of shipping, over to you. And any order I do appreciate very much. now Mark, let me go back here. Okay. Mark from Cryptid Search Investigations, he had ordered some shirts from me that I had featured during the last episode of the podcast, and I so many things were going on over the following 2 weeks that I just could not get to the post office. So as a thank you, I sent him an extra shirt. You're welcome, Gary. Gary got his copy of my book and his shirt. You're welcome. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. Yeah, guys. Yeah, any order that you make, it supports, the research, because all the research that I do, I share. I share everything. I don't have a secret little database that I hide everything, and I don't hide anything, other than locations. I'll give like a county or general location, but to protect both the Bigfoot and property owners, of course, it's common sense. You don't give out exact locations. But it's just the way it is, guys. You guys know. So, but yeah, I've got hoodies. I've got, our logo t-shirts. I have special design t-shirts that I made up, very pretty cool design. And I have those photos on the group, Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project. So get in the group, and you'll get to see everything. Okay, DeShizzle, did you order directly from me and not get your copy? Uh, or yeah, I don't know if you ordered one from me. There's been a lot of upheaval going on in my life recently, and oh, okay. But yeah, if you order one, I will try to get it out as quickly as possible. And I usually send along a couple extra little gifts. You got to get you one of the shirts, Ken. I know you do. Yes. I've got some pretty cool designs. So yeah, contact me. Send me a message, and I'll send you whatever designs that we have available. I used to have an Etsy shop, but Etsy, I got to tell you, Etsy, it just screws up sellers so badly. It really does. So, um, so that's why I have people just order directly from me. Oh, what else is going on? Okay. All right. You'll be in touch. Great. All right. Good. Looking forward to it. And let's see. This summer I am extremely busy. I've got, since I'm not doing conferences and festivals and so on, I have to keep busy no matter what. I rest as often as I can. Okay. Okay, Melvin. Yeah. Yeah. If you have PayPal, I honestly prefer PayPal. I also do CashApp and Venmo, but I do prefer PayPal. It's just easier for me. It's just one less step that I have to go through. And okay, Tim, no sightings up in the Poconos. You mean recently? I haven't heard any recent sightings. Although yes, there are. Oh, hey, Richie, we were just talking about you. Yep, Chris and I were just talking about you. I bet you your ears were burning. Good to see you. Um, but yeah, Tim, if you go on the group on Facebook, Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project, we have a map of Bigfoot sightings and encounter reports. It's in the featured section. It's called PA Bigfoot Encounters Map. And there's, I think, at the very least, there's 600 to 700 reports on there. And God knows there are many, many more than that. It's just what is on that map. And I am not I am not in control of the map as to when reports get on there. But if you get on the group and there's reports, you can do a word search in the group, for Poconos, and it'll give you everything, all the reports that we have from other people in the group. And I know that there are quite a few. It's just offhand, I don't recall any. I did. Let me see. We did a camp out at what is that called? Hickory State Park. I can't remember what it's called. Okay, you found. Okay, hold on. Let me highlight that. Eckley Miners Village, back by the old strip mines. You found footprints and twisted trees. Very cool. Yeah, I've got a couple of our research investigators who live over in that area. I'll give them a heads up. Yeah, Hickory State Park. Thank you. Yeah, we did a camp out, one of our camp outs. We do group camp out meet and greets throughout the summer into the fall. And a few years ago, we did do one at Hickory State Park. And we covered quite a wide area there. And I did one of my talks another time in Scranton. Yeah, I think it was Scranton. And it was like just an evening where I went up and I did a talk, and people, I always open it up to questions afterwards where people can ask me whatever they want to ask. Whether or not I know the answer to is, most of the time it's okay. It's my opinion and I'm only guessing, and, just relating personal history or personal experience, just from my personal experience, this is what I've learned, and go from there. But yeah, we covered a pretty good area whenever we were out there, and had a lot of witness reports. Okay, Mandaminal, cool name. Are there Bigfoots in Westmoreland County? I can just bring it down to there. Westmoreland County is, I would say, if not the number one county in Pennsylvania for reports, it is in the top of reports in Pennsylvania, only because it's part of the Chestnut Ridge. And the Chestnut Ridge is just, it's crazy active with Bigfoot, UFOs, and all kinds of other crazy reports of other things. But Irwin area, North Huntington, definitely. Check the Pennsylvania or the PA Bigfoot Encounters map in the group, the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Project group on Facebook, and you'll be able to see all the reports in that area, as well as if you do a word search in the group itself. Again, if you're curious as to what's in your area, just do a word search. Check the map first and then do a word search, like put in Westmoreland, and it'll bring up whatever reports that we've gotten, for that area. Or Irwin. That's what I do. Whenever I'm looking for something in a specific area, I'll check the map first, and then I'll go into the group. And whatever main county or city or town that I'm curious about, I'll put that in the search field of the group, and it'll search through all the different comments and posts and everything for that specific word, and it'll bring up something for sure. But yeah, Westmoreland County, definitely, it's definitely very active. Trying to think, I have personally had some experiences on the Chestnut Ridge. Westmoreland County, I don't think so specifically. Fayette County, definitely. Just about all over Pennsylvania. But primarily with my own personal experiences and sightings, Western Pennsylvania, and as well as 2 out of state. But okay. Well, let me see what else. There were, I think I wanted to go over one specific thing, make an announcement that, and it won't be permanent. I'm going to take a break from the podcast for a month, maybe 2, just because I'm very busy with other things in my life. And I just need my rest. And so that's all it is. It's all it is. It will be back definitely in the fall. Definitely. And I will jump in on a live every so often, just maybe a little surprise here and there. And I may do something else. I will have some pre-recorded content also. I will, I dig up reports and I'll talk about those on only as a pre-recorded, not on a live. But again, I may jump in now and then on a live podcast, just on the spur of the moment. All right, guys. All right. Hey, Patty. Good to see you. All right, guys. Let's get over here to the main star of the show. This gentleman was recommended to me, and I contacted him, and we had such a fantastic conversation. I'm just I'm a 100% supporter of this gentleman. I will boost his work. Chris, welcome.
All right. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome.
I
Yeah.
made something for you backstage.
Oh my goodness. Oh, how
Uh,
cool.
I started that when you pressed when you put me backstage. So
Oh, thank you.
you're welcome.
That is cool.
When I meet you officially, hopefully I have it with me.
Hey, yes,
Can you
yes.
hear me over my fan?
Yeah, you're
Okay, good.
coming through loud and clear, and the
Great.
video is very clear. And yeah, everyone, we've got a ton of people in the audience.
That's
And
good.
just remind everyone in the audience, if you have a question for our guest, please put it in all capitals. That way it'll catch my attention so I can put it up on screen for Chris. So, Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself. And
Okay. I just had a birthday, 44.
oh,
So that's
happy birthday!
yeah, that's kind of a big one for me.
Yeah.
Let's see. I grew up in foster care. I joined the army. I was infantry for 4 years. I was 101st Airborne. Jumped out of helicopters on a rope. Never saw combat, so I got really lucky there. Let's see. I had a landscaping thing for about 10 years. Did it for about 20. Let's see. Trying to think. Yeah, now I caretake for my wife's aunt. Um,
Okay.
and I draw Bigfoot. So that's what I do.
Very cool. Yes, and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And yeah, we've got another comment on here. Remember the luminous bugs in Missouri?
I actually discovered that for the first time. I think it was like a year or two ago. I went to a conference and just by chance I saw these little blue, kind of look like fireflies, but they weren't fireflies.
Oh,
And I thought I discovered some new kind of species or something, but it
wow.
was they said it was lightning bug larva.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they
Oh,
look like
that's
roly. They kind of look like a roly poly, and I think it's their face that lights up.
oh,
I
wow.
could be wrong.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's
Very
pretty neat.
cool. So, what does the AOS stand for?
So I decided to use that because there's already a bunch of Chris Millers. Like there's
Yeah,
many famous Chris Miller artists,
yeah.
and I thought going with my name would be the best. So it's Art of Survival or All Over Sasquatch. That's kind of
Oh,
what it means to me. So
okay.
I'm a survivalist, kind of self-taught survivalist.
Oh, now that's
So
cool.
you got any questions? Any? You can quiz me anytime, any topic.
All
Plants,
right.
water, wildlife, whatever.
Yeah. Boy, we may see you on that TV show Alone sometime, huh?
I actually had a friend that I served with. He was on season 2, and he did
Really?
really well.
Which
Uh,
one?
let's see, Justin Vidito's his name.
Okay.
He was the one that climbed the mountain for
Oh,
the 22 servicemen that
yes.
make that choice. That was
Yes.
him.
Oh, wow.
He's a talented guy. He was a sniper, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows his stuff. I think he's in recovery and doing a really good job recovering right now. I think he broke his back. I think
Oh, my goodness. Wow. Well, God bless him. God bless him.
he's a tough dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of that show and uh, love watching it. I
I
can
tried
only
out
say,
for Survivor twice.
really?
Yeah, they didn't want me.
Oh,
I was too pretty for him. I think
oh.
that's what I tell myself anyway.
Who knows what they want on there? Wow.
They want drama is what they want.
Yeah, yeah. That's why I really don't watch it because I don't care for that. Give me
Yeah, they keep
straightforward.
me on till the last day and then they drop me.
Oh, really? Well, that's not right.
Well, they I think that's how it works. You try to keep people on and then
Yeah.
vote them off at the last minute.
Oh, wow. So, you do witness sketches, don't you? From what I
Yeah,
was reading. Yeah.
yeah, cryptids or Bigfoot, really anything.
Yeah.
My art's finally gotten to that point where I feel like I can do it and I can do it quickly.
Oh,
Um, I plan on doing that maybe for a show. I think that'd be a really cool show.
I would love to see that. Now, I'm going to put up a couple examples of your artwork on here. Whoop.
I like that one.
Yeah, that is cool. I really like that. Just dancing with my fries close. Now, what is there a meaning to this?
Yeah, that was a parody of a Ed Sheeran song, "Dancing with My Eyes Closed," and I
Oh,
changed the words. And
oh,
he wrote that he wrote that about his mom, and I found out, so I actually removed that from social media
oh,
out of
okay.
respect. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Weird Al Yankovic, so I love parody.
yeah, I tell you what, he was very influential in my life growing up.
Yeah,
I like that one a lot too. That's
yeah.
one of my faves.
Wow.
There's a lot of faces in that one.
I see that.
A lot of people don't know you can turn them 24 or 360 degrees and actually see faces all upside down even.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow. What an impact.
I like that one too.
Huh. Now, do you get these from different witnesses?
Uh, some, few, most of these come from I'll listen to an encounter or I'll
Uh-huh.
listen to a podcast or something while I'm drawing, and it's just kind of what comes to me. It's not necessarily from the podcast, but uh, most of these are just my imagination based off of things I've heard. That
Okay.
that's where 90% of my stuff comes from.
Okay.
But I
Well,
love feedback. I love feedback,
now I love this
good or
little.
bad. I like that one a lot.
Yes, I love this
That's
one.
probably my
Wow.
top five things I've ever made. It's
I
only
can
five
believe.
seconds long, but I'm
Yeah.
actually gonna use that. I'm gonna try to make him sing a song.
Really?
Yeah, I actually started on it already. I think it's
Wow.
he stopped
Wow.
loving squirrels today. You know, the stuff just comes to me and I go with it. So I try not to overthink it because then I won't
Yeah.
share it. So I just put
Well,
it out there and hopefully people like it.
you got to have fun in life. You really do. But your work is so realistic. I love it.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
I try
It
really hard.
what a talent. I'm just in awe. Um, but tell us about, have you had experiences or
That's really what
encounter?
got me. That's what got me on technology.
Oh,
Um, well, using social media anyway.
right.
Um, my first internet experience was 2010, so I didn't touch it before that. And
Okay.
I started on YouTube. I watched a whole lot of YouTube. I combed, I combed it for what it was worth on
Hmm.
survival stuff.
Yeah.
And let's see, I was into aliens, giants, uh, prophecy stuff, a little bit of everything on YouTube. That's actually where I tried to start sharing my content. I kept running into copyright strikes, and I didn't know what to do about it. So that's why I never intended on singing for these things at all. But that was the only thing I could think of to get around
Mm.
the copyright strike. So
Yep.
the rest is history.
Yeah, I've run into a few of those myself, but it's part of the learning experience with YouTube.
I have learned a whole lot the last 4 years.
Yeah.
So what
That's
really got me started was, uh, I think it was round about October of 21, I think.
okay.
And I live in Mountain Grove. I'm all right with sharing my location. I've got 40 acres of woods, and I was sitting in this exact same spot, and it was about 12:30 at night, and something let out with, "I'm gonna do my best here. Don't make fun of me." It started out like this. It was it just kept going. And I mean, straight goosebumps every time I do that. Um, it scared me. It scared me really bad.
Yep.
I felt it. I felt it like, I heard my heartbeat in my ears, and I
Hmm.
thought, I don't care if it kills me. I have to know what that is. I run out off my front porch here, and I didn't see anything. But one of my cats was freaking out, and I'd never seen him act like that before. And
Hmm.
I thought, what are you looking at? And he zeroes in on this tree, like a white oak tree in my front yard. And all of a sudden, he just looking right, looking that way. And I'm like, what? I didn't see anything move. And that cat went missing that night. And I just, for the long, like couple months, I just wanted it to be an owl. I wanted it to be some kind of migratory bird. I did
Yeah.
not want to come out and say, hey, everybody, I seen a Bigfoot. I know how that goes. So
Yeah.
either way, that's where it started. I had a lot of experience, a lot of different things added to that
Okay.
since that that really I had to go with Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I found that noise on YouTube, and it's
Okay.
under a video called "Screaming Sounds in the Woods, Rocks Thrown at Camera," and it was filmed in, I believe,
Georgia.
2011 or 2013 in Georgia. You bet.
Yep.
Yep, you got
I,
it.
I know that one. Yep.
It's at the 3 minute and maybe 5 second minute mark,
Hmm.
and imagine that sound twice as loud, twice as long.
Yep.
That's almost exactly. Uh, so fast forward from my encounter, my buddy came over. His name's Austin. He came over for deer hunting, and we stayed up talking. He got over here about 10. It was like 2:30, and we're thinking we got to get up and hunt in the morning. How are we gonna get up? So I said, why don't we just? I'll just cook breakfast. You can take out the dog. I'll cook us breakfast, and we'll just stay up. Well, I hear him come crashing in. I'm halfway through the eggs, and I hear him come crashing in, and I didn't think anything of it. He walks in and he said, "You know that noise you heard a couple weeks ago?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, I just heard it." I said, "Yeah, sure you did." I didn't believe him. I thought he was making fun of me.
Oh.
And he sits down and he starts looking up animal noises on YouTube, and that's when I knew, because that's
Hmm.
what I did.
Yeah.
I watched the animal noises for about a good hour and a half, 2 hours after I heard it. So
Yep.
that next morning, we hunted opening morning rifle season from my shop. Two infantry guys that are both woodsmen, and we didn't razz each other to death. So, I mean, that really doesn't prove anything, but it says a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, at the time I really lived for deer hunting. Um, I haven't given it up. I still enjoy it, but I don't feel the need to shoot them anymore. So I make fart noises at them and try to get it on camera. It's all the same skills. I still got to be stealthy. I still got to hold the camera still, just like a rifle, and it's less work. So
Yeah, as
yeah,
long as you don't need to fill your freezer.
there you go. There you go. If you can't tell, I'm a little nervous. Making eye contact kind of. I know this isn't eye contact, but it feels like it. Uh,
That's okay.
I think better when I don't have to make eye contact.
Whatever makes you comfortable, that's fine with me. Uh, yeah, look, can you tell us a little bit more? You said that you had other encounters.
I've lost track of a lot of the timing, but
Yeah.
I kind of know the sequential of it. It was after, I'd say, I'm just gonna guess a couple months after that. I was
Mhm.
still kind of on high alert, but I'd go out in the woods during the day, and I took my son for like a little survival kind of. He's kind of being a little turd, so I just took him out there to kind of drill sergeant him a little bit and teach him some things. And I go to show him my binoculars, and I hate carrying binoculars. I just don't like it.
Yeah.
Either way, I put them up to my eyes, and I said, "What the hell?" And he goes, "What is it, Daddy?" He knew. I try really hard not to cuss in front of him,
Hmm.
and I could hear the concern in his voice, and it really kind of scared me a little bit hearing the concern in his voice that he picked up on me. And I don't even remember what I told him, but I had the thought, can he make it back to the house so I can go and investigate? And I
Oh.
thought, that's dumb. And I felt bad for even having that thought, but that was the first thought that came to mind. I want to know what this is. I want
Yeah.
to know if I'm freaking out for no reason. But all I saw, what looked like to me, it looked like a head of a Bigfoot. It looked like a fallen tree with just the head sticking up. The whole,
Okay.
like I could see the whole thing, and it was kind of 3/4, not even looking at me, but just kind of just real still. And I almost felt like I was being watched, but I knew it wasn't watching me. So that's what made me. I had a 22 pistol on my hip that I'm pretty confident with, and
Mhm.
I didn't even think about, you know, I thought, am I going to have to protect myself or my son? So we just hightailed it out of the woods that day.
Okay.
Um,
How old
fast.
is your son?
He's 14 now.
Okay.
At the time, he was probably 8 or 9, and I'm thinking
Okay.
he was right at that age where he just hadn't had a lot of woods experience yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's a good kid.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Yeah, I love my
Now
son.
let me think. Okay, you saw the head above, what was a log, a fallen tree?
But there's no tree when I walked over there the next day or two to investigate. That was the part that I really
Really?
didn't talk about that for a long time because I couldn't make sense of it.
Yeah.
Um, that particular spot, if you want, towards the end of it, I don't mind walking over there and we can see if it'll switch off Wi-Fi and if it'll keep me on. I'll walk over
Okay.
there and I
Oh,
can
okay,
show
cool.
you on the way over there. There's a X structure that I found that day. I mean, it's perfect. I mean, when you see something like that out in the woods,
Yep. Yep.
it doesn't. Sometimes things can. There's a lot of things that can happen,
Yes.
but it's so perfect that it makes you stop. And that was, I think that was 3 or 4 years ago, and it's still there. But part of the top part of the X is fallen off,
Yeah.
and it's actually started growing. It didn't have any foliage on it till this year. I
Oh.
don't understand that. So that's a piece of the puzzle too.
Hmm.
Um, if you walk over that way, that's a like a wet weather off the highway kind of thing, and it's usually dry. So when I walked over there, there's no tree, and I'm thinking, where's this tree?
Yeah.
Well, there's a hole in the ground that was not there before.
Hmm.
At this time, I wasn't as familiar with my property as I am now, and there's footprints. I don't share this very often publicly, but there's footprints over there bigger than my foot in rock. It looks like a boot print, is what it looks like. It doesn't look like a barefoot print.
Yeah.
So I can't say it's connected, but it's literally 2 feet from the hole. Like I said, I hope to walk over there and show you.
Yeah.
Um, I'll pick ticks for a while. Ask Richie, Banner Richie B. I think he knows I got some ticks on my property.
Oh, we all do.
I took him for a tour one day and just showed him some of the things around.
Whoop, just my dog.
What kind of dog you got?
She's a border collie.
Oh, that's awesome. I had a border collie blue heeler mix.
Oh,
Na-
wow.
His, his name was Rambo. I didn't name him. Everybody thought his name was Rainbow. I thought, man, I gotta change this dog's name. He was a high energy dog, let me tell you.
Yes, they are. Yep, border
What
collies all.
what's your dog's name?
Her name is Sinead.
Sinead? Right on.
Sinead.
Like
Like
Sinead
S A.
O'Connor?
Yes. Only it wasn't she wasn't named for Sinead O'Connor. I named her Sinead for the meaning of the name.
The
Uh,
what?
the meaning of the
Oh, okay.
name
What's it
Sinead,
mean?
uh, God's gracious gift.
Right on. I named my dog because of the meaning.
Yeah.
His name was Gunter, and it means battle warrior. I thought
Ooh.
he's an all black German Shepherd, so and he's German, so it made sense to me.
Yeah.
Um,
Good.
some of the other things that I've encountered here, I didn't want to put it connected to this, but over time, it just kind of is all added up. There was one time I was walking with a friend of mine. We were looking for mushrooms that day, and right down the hill from my shop, um, there's like two deer and two armadillos, all within 20 feet of each other, all dead. I'm like, that's odd.
Yeah.
Um, Also, I found at least five or six dead deer. Um, Usually, when like they get hit by the highway or something, they're cleaned up
Mhm.
pretty quick. The
Yeah.
the eagles and the vultures and other, we've got every critter out here that walks. We got black bears, never seen one. We got
Mhm.
cougars, never seen one, but
Yep.
my neighbor saw one. Um, I found lots of evidence of black bear.
Okay.
Um, I'm pretty sure what I saw was not a black bear though. Like I've drawn a drawing. I was hoping to find it so I can show it to you.
Yeah.
I'll try to find one of these that I've drawn that kind of, a lot of the stuff I draw has that type
Okay.
what I saw.
Yeah.
It had a real sloped forehead, dark eyes, um, like a grayish kind of dark fur. Um, it's a little fuzzy because it's been quite a while ago. So I really, I don't want a better encounter, but at the same time I kind of do. I'd like to really get a good look at what they look like so I could share. But um, there's let's see, a 9 point buck where the head was turned backwards, and that sucker was almost eaten to the point of nothing. And I have the skull. I went out there and harvested it, and it was not hard to get off. So something did a good job. Something broke its neck. It was already broken. So uh,
Wow.
that kind of freaked me out a little bit because I
Yeah.
know how hard it is to manipulate a creature like that. So I'm
Yeah.
not saying that a coyote couldn't have done it or a pack of them even, but to me, you got to get up close and personal to do something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
And the
We have
picture
a
I've got,
question.
it looks like something grabbed it.
Oh,
Like you
wow.
can see indentions kind of, that's either way.
Wow. Wow. We have a question from Melvin.
But
He
yeah,
asked, "What state are you from?"
I'm from Missouri, born and raised. I kind of bounce around all of Missouri, Springfield to Poplar Bluff,
Okay.
everywhere in between.
Yeah, I've got a couple Bigfooter friends in Missouri. So, yeah.
I
I,
didn't think it was a Missouri thing. I thought it was
yeah.
Northwest. That's the only place it was. all the books I'd read, that's where it was. So
Right.
I never thought, you know, never
Yeah.
thought I'd ever have any kind of encounter like that.
They're everywhere.
I have 5 other guys. I just found the latest one recently that are willing to go on record with me. They heard the same noises or had their own experiences, and they're all local here. So
Oh.
that adds to it helps validate.
Hmm.
I don't want people thinking that I just created something just to sell some artwork, because that's not how it is.
No. No.
That's easier. That's easier. I'd almost like to go with that. Um, like I said, I could draw a little bit of everything, and I knew going down this road it was going to be a tough one. Uh, I've
Yeah.
always been interested in the topic. I've watched a lot of content on it, and I made a lot of judgments on the people sharing their content because
Hmm.
I thought they were uh, just out for the money, and I judged them for that. And a lot of them, I actually went back to them after the fact because I realized they were creating content, and that's stressful for a lot of people, and me including.
Yeah.
Um, and that's what I was picking up on. So either way, Steve Isdall was one of them.
Hmm.
He actually shared my encounter on his program.
Okay.
Uh, he shared some of my artwork too. I was pretty happy about that one.
Really cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's pretty neat.
Yeah, he covered one of my investigations on his show. What was that sometime last year, I think?
I recently heard an encounter from a local Bigfoot guy. Someone went on his program, and he was a military guy, and I could hear the tone in his voice. It was like what I was going through. It was about a year where the best thing I can say is PTSD. I mean, I went on guard, and
Mm-hmm.
I was constantly looking over my shoulder. I was constantly looking around. I didn't have anybody to talk to, and I felt like I needed to protect my family. Uh, like I said, I did not want it to be Bigfoot. I wanted it to be anything, but I really wanted it to be a bird. I so wanted it to be a bird. I'm a creature watcher,
Yeah.
amateur. I just like getting them on camera. It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of a hobby. It's just something I kind of got into. Um,
Yeah. It's always, I love sitting out on my front porch in the mornings and listening to the birds. And what I do advise new researchers is to get on YouTube. There are a ton of Audubon recordings of all the bird calls. They have different recordings for different areas, of not only the world, but of the US. And so you
mhm.
can listen to what birds are local to you. And I always advise people to go through that, go through any of the local animals, whenever you're searching for, like the vocal that you heard,
Mhm.
get online and search for that vocal. But yeah, I've heard that call that you
You've
did.
heard that.
I've
Okay.
heard that. Yeah, I've
Okay.
heard that.
Give you the creepy crawlies, huh?
Oh yeah.
There's
Yeah,
nothing else I've ever come across like it. It sounds like a tornado siren winding up when they
yeah,
first turn on, and it
yeah,
makes that crescendo. That's
yep.
what uh that's what really kind of, it's like, what in the world? I estimate it was probably, I'm just gonna guess, 20 to 30 yards off my front porch.
Okay.
I've
Oh.
got plastic around my front porch, so
Mm-hmm.
I can still hear real well. And
Yeah.
I didn't get a sighting that night.
Well, even so, that was pretty close. And you did say you hurt or felt it in your chest.
No doubt about it.
Yeah. So yeah, but that pretty much tells you right there. Whenever someone says that they felt it, that pretty much tells you what it was.
I'd never heard my heartbeat in my ears like that before.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe once before. I can't tell you when it was, but that kind of freaked me out. I didn't. It felt like my blood was running backwards or something, and it was all getting stuck in my head, and it
Yeah.
was just like wham, 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 wham. So I
Wow.
don't know. I don't know what that was about.
I
That
don't know.
fear is something I see over and over and over, and a lot of people don't talk about that. I don't scare easy. I feel like I'm pretty prepared for most situations,
Mhm.
and it's taken me a long time to get there. So for me to be scared of something, it took me a while to get out in the woods, especially at night. And I really like walking around at night. Um, I work at night now, and I have since the encounter. Um, I really wanted to try to see if I couldn't record it.
Yeah.
May- By the time I hit record, it'd probably be over with.
Oh, yeah.
But
That's usually the way it is, if any time, and it goes with video or photos also, by the time you get your phone out of your pocket and bring up your camera app and get it focused in on wherever the creature is, it's gone, or else it's stopped vocalizing.
I've noticed it's harder. Like I used to be able to pull it up really fast. And
Yeah.
now it seems like they made it to where you can't pull it up as fast. I don't
Yeah.
know if that's by design. Things are
Yeah.
supposed to get better. So
Yeah.
I've
We'll
noticed
see.
this this phone, it doesn't record near as well. Like when I zoom in, it
Hmm.
has a break in the zoom, whereas my previous phone didn't have that. I'm
Oh,
like, why
which
would
phone
you
is
make it
that?
worse? It was let's see, a Galaxy S23.
Okay.
This one's like a 24, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, I know the Zoom on those are outstanding. My daughter has one, and yeah, I'm jealous of the Zoom because
Yeah,
I've got the iPhone. But I have a Nikon camera that I'll use sometimes that has like an 86 times zoom on it. So yeah,
that's
I'm
pretty good.
quite happy with that one. Okay, we have a question here from Mandanimal. Have you seen other cryptids or aliens?
Okay, on that, I've never been asked that before on a podcast, but I think I saw something one night behind my barn. It was tall, whatever it was. It was dark. I can't say for certain what it was, but
Mhm.
that one kind of made me uneasy. Um, I've caught a lot of things in the sky. Um, I've
Yeah,
always been an alien guy. I always wanted to figure out how they fit in the Bible, or
yeah.
uh, are they good, bad, or otherwise, you know? And uh, I've seen two different craft for sure. I'm a trained observer. We actually we had playing cards with different ships and helicopters, and so I don't just call something out unless I know what it is, right? So
Yeah.
whatever this was, I believe it was the TR3B. It's a uh perfect triangle like that, and it
Oh,
had a light here, here, and here, and they were subdued, and it had like something in the middle, and I saw it fly over my house in Springfield, and I
hmm.
lived a rock throw from the small airport, and it was completely quiet. I was on the phone when I heard it, and then I also saw. I'll just draw you a picture real quick. Look like kind of look like a seven or maybe like a L, and these things were huge, and there were two of them. Oh, let's see. They look like that,
Okay.
but they
All
were
right.
more like kind of elongated, and there were two of them, and they were flying in like a slant formation, real slow.
Oh,
And
oh,
I actually had to stop and say, "Did I really just see that? I need to commit that to memory."
yeah.
Those are the two for sure craft I've seen. I've heard from, well, Stephen Greer. He said those are military, which makes sense.
Yeah,
Back engineered, supposedly.
yeah, yeah. I know that the military they've come out with so much more recently that they have, and plus the things that they have that they don't let the public know about is what about 40, 50 years ahead of what
I think
they
it's like
put
a
on
hundred
public.
or two.
Yeah, that's very possible. Yeah, it's yeah, because a friend of mine he worked as a military contractor, also worked for NASA as an engineer, and he's spoken about quite a bit about what the military has and so on and so forth. But it's just amazing.
The,
Yeah,
the technology just from the time I got out, I was in during 9/11, and then I
yeah,
got out in 2003. And just since then, that's what, 22 years?
yeah,
A friend of mine told me what they have now from 2010. And just from 7 years, it blew me away how much things have changed and how
yeah,
much technology, uh, like AI, oh, it's freaky. It's really freaky.
yeah. Wow. Yeah, and now with Space Force, added on to, what
Drones.
they have. Yeah.
I captured. Are you familiar with the Sky Train?
Yes.
I'm gonna try to talk a little cryptically because I know it's controlled, but I got a really good video of that a couple years ago.
Oh.
Really good. And I was up that night talking to a friend of mine, and I said, "Hey, I gotta let you go. I gotta take a video." I saw a UFO or something that I was trying to get on film, so
Mm-hmm.
I hung up with her. And at the time, I look over, and it looked like tracer fire. If you've ever seen it in the movies,
Yeah.
uh, it made me flinch. Like in training, you're supposed to freeze when you see stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like that way, your movement doesn't show up. Training kind of kicked in, and
Right.
then I pulled out my phone and I got one heck of a video, and I shared it on, I believe it's Facebook, and it didn't. My numbers go down to zero, and they stayed there for a while.
Really.
Uh, yep.
Now
Yeah, that was
it's
the night before my birthday.
Oh, wow.
Yep,
Now yeah, I know that Starlink it goes. Have
that's
you
it.
seen
Yeah,
Starlink?
that's
Okay.
it. That's what I'm talking about. I've
Yes.
seen it 3 times,
Yeah.
and the first time, it's really funny, but I thought we'd been invaded. I saw
Yes.
it was like 20, 22 something, and I had
Mm-hmm.
enough time to alert 5 people from the time I saw it. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking, what in the world? It's like Red Dawn style. And I walked around for about a week thinking something was up,
Yeah.
and I just decided to Google it. Seven that I seen. Seven star-like things in the sky, and it popped up, and I thought, wow, now I feel stupid. But I've been looking for it ever since.
Yeah, I've seen it twice. Both times I was out bigfooting, as a matter of fact, which is funny. But uh, I know the first time I saw it, of course, you think, what the heck is that? It's a UFO. Uh, but even now, people report it. They don't realize that it's Starlink. Um, but it's it's fantastic and very cool to watch.
It freaks me out. I really don't. I don't like it. I don't like when drones came out. I thought this is not good. Why would we let this happen? Why is this okay? Google Earth. There's lots of different things like that. That I just, to me, it's a little far. And I have a friend who's disabled in a wheelchair. He actually has his own drone business.
Oh.
And I really think that's, well, you can see with was it Ukraine? That was
Hmm.
like kind of a deal breaker.
Yeah.
I'd like to touch back on that. I I sh- uh, I shared that video, Well, when I got a new phone, that video was scrambled. None of my other videos were scrambled, but that
Really?
one was, and I already have it backed up. But I thought that was really strange.
That
How did
is.
it get? How would that get scrambled?
Yeah.
It was a great
Really,
video.
and really why? Because it's satellites. It's really not
Mhm.
top secret.
Yeah, my phone can't zoom in on that. I don't know why they
Yeah.
would need to protect that.
It's strange. Hmm.
Um,
One of those
Another
things.
thing, Oh, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No,
There's a
go ahead.
slight delay. Uh, I saw a picture of his robot or a video, and I screen captured it and I shared that. It also numbers went to zero, and nobody saw it, and that was years ago.
Yeah.
And if you look, that is the same robot that they're saying is brand new now.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't like it. I don't like anything that doesn't bleed. Yeah. I like to be able to dispatch my enemies.
All right. So yeah, let's get back to your Bigfoot
Sure.
encounters and what you've experienced and so on.
Okay,
Um,
so this is kind of a weird. It's connected. Uh, they were doing like construction on the church across the way, and my wife heard something. We had company, and she said, "Why don't you go check it out?" And I had already kind of kept my eye peeled, and I didn't see anything. But I shined my laser. I didn't have my flashlight at the time. I just kind of shined my laser back and forth real slow, and I think I stopped a robbery. And the next morning, I went over there. I saw cops over there, and they let me track them. And they, because I'm kind of an amateur, that's just part of survival, right?
mm-hmm,
And I actually was able to track them. I found where they left all their tools in a string and different things that they were stealing.
mm-hmm.
I found where they cut the fence. They cut the fence up the road, cut across the field, and came up behind the church. I'd seen a few things that kind of had me nervous before that, but um, the reason why I was over there, I'm talking to another guy at during all this, and I'm kind of sharing with him what I'm doing,
Mm-hmm.
and he goes, "Oh yeah, that's a Bigfoot," and he's a local guy, and he's a big dude, and I'm thinking, "You're okay to talk about this, and how do you know that's a Bigfoot? Tell me more." And he said, he's one of the guys that's willing to go on record with me. He said one night they were at the creek fishing or camping or something, and something was throwing rocks in the water.
Oh,
And he said he saw it, said it ran away, said it was the size of a grizzly bear, same color, but he knows it wasn't a grizzly.
wow.
That's what he told me. And
Wow.
he lives maybe 4 miles down the road. I've made friends with him since all this.
Mm-hmm.
So we've gotten to talk about it a little bit more. And the guy I bought my SUV from, recently, I was sharing with him. I talk about this stuff with everybody, and
Heck yeah.
he heard the same noise I did, and he's a big game hunter.
Oh,
He's hunted around, you know, he's had all these different encounters with big creatures. So it feels good to be validated, but
yeah.
it adds more questions too.
Yeah.
Um, this property came with Bigfoot stories already, and uh, so I was a little, I don't know. I couldn't really vet the story, but the aunt we live with, she said the guy working on the house was doing something on the roof, and he was drilling, making a lot of noise or cutting metal or something, and he broke his drill bit. 'Cause something like a rock came flying out of the woods. And it took me 5 years to vet that story, but I talked to him, and he's willing to go on the record too. They've seen eye shine, they've seen red eye shine, which doesn't mean it has to be a Bigfoot. There's other animals that have red eye shine.
Yeah.
There's owls, black bears, deer can even have red eye shine.
Yeah.
It's rare, but they can.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've also heard a wood knock. My neighbor and I, is broad daylight, not long after it happened. We're just talking, and it sounded like a Louisville Slugger home run. And she goes, "What was that?" And she's local too. She's lived here her whole life, and she's never heard that.
Oh,
And I
wow.
never heard one either. And I knew, you just know it's not a limb falling and hitting another limb. No,
Yeah.
it's more force. And I said, that's what they call a wood knock. Just by chance, I actually caught one on. I was recording one of my parodies, and I left it in the parody so people could hear it. It was one of my rough drafts. It didn't sound very good to me singing, but you can hear it in the background. It's in the wintertime. It's maybe a year or two ago, probably.
Wow.
Trying to
That's
think of
cool.
what else. Uh, Different things. I've talked to some local people. People
Mm-hmm.
don't like talking about it around here. They'll talk to
Well,
you one on one, but in a
yeah.
group, they don't. They don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Yep.
I know why now. You get ostracized.
Yeah.
Uh,
And that's a shame.
it is. Here we are in 2025. This happened in 21. In 4 years, no one can tell me, oh, that's a bobcat. That's a, whatever. I've only heard one person even try to tell me anything, and he said it was a some kind of an owl. I'm pretty sure he said barred owl, and that's
Yeah.
not what a barred owl sounds like.
Yeah.
I've heard the monkey sound they make.
Yeah.
It's called the monkey noise.
Yep.
That's I think that's what Rob Lowe heard. The actor.
Yeah.
I don't believe he heard a Bigfoot. I think he heard an owl. And I hate to cut anybody's story down, but there are natural noises that
Yeah.
I'm familiar with. You know, owls can make a rock clack noise.
Mm-hmm.
That when they clack their beaks together, and they
Yeah.
do that when there's a predator or someone around. That's their. They also puff up. They puff up and they put their wings out. I can see how that could be mistaken for a Bigfoot. So to me, I really want to nail it down. I don't. Not every tree break in the woods is a Bigfoot.
No.
Not every stick laying on another stick. I've found some weird things that I kind of lump it in there, but I can't say definitively that is Bigfoot evidence.
Right.
I recently found a footprint a couple days ago. My first one ever.
Oh, cool.
I I really wish I was prepared, and I should have cast it. I was walking the property with a guy. I took a picture of it. I do have a picture, but it's not definitive. It really doesn't say footprint, but I
Yeah.
know it was in a place where I would think they would use.
Okay.
Because my whole property's woods, and everything
Mm.
around me for the most part is like fields and stuff. So
Yeah.
a lot of creatures use my property. Like, it was not hunted for a long time, like
Mm-hmm.
15 years or more. So it's overgrown. I see what I call highways. You can see where the foliage doesn't grow there. There's a
Mm-hmm.
reason why,
Yes.
and I mean, they're wide. They kind of look like logging roads,
Okay.
which that could be an explanation, but there's one right over here. That it's not a logging road. I don't know what it'd be. I might be able to show you if I do walk.
Yeah.
I have to show you this place, but it's Hoarder Nightmare, uh, and I'm working on it. I've done the best I can, and it is what it is. So either way, I've dealt with it now.
If I
Um,
showed you the rest of my basement, that's what you would think.
I should turn the camera around that way you can see the rest of my porch. It's pretty bad. Some more evidence. Um, so I'm an outdoor guy, and I have blackberries, whole big patch of them. And
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna go pick them, and it was really dry. It was a couple years ago,
Yeah.
and I thought I'm gonna water them and give them one more day. Maybe they'll plump up a little bit. something wiped them all out. I'm talking every berry was gone. I didn't get
Oh,
one, and
oh,
they were loaded. And I'm thinking, what would do that and not trample them all down? That was weird. And then I also have 3 pear trees, and one only had fruit at the time. Same
mm-hmm.
story. I was gonna harvest them, like I was gonna pick them,
Yep.
and something beat me to it that night. I'm thinking the whole tree, like what what could do that? Yeah,
Yep.
I know that like a possum or something like that, they can only eat so much. They're
Right.
not gonna eat, they can't carry them away.
Right.
So I mean, it was 20, 30 foot tall tree.
Yeah. And deer, yeah, they'll eat the lower ones, what they can reach, but
Yep,
the 20, 30 feet up,
yep.
no.
They're not supposed to grow that tall. You're supposed to keep them top, but
Yeah.
either way,
They get
it's
away.
all, it's the best pears you've ever eaten, though.
Oh, okay.
I got pears on all 3 now. I'm looking forward to it.
We have another question for you. Chris, do you do any deep wood night camps or investigations?
Yes and no. I don't officially do it as a researcher.
Hmm.
Um, I have went on live a few times and walked around. It's not that I was scared to walk around it for a while. I like walking around at night because you see things you can't see during the day.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things will stand out because you don't have the whole thing in your peripheral. You can focus on something. And me being kind of ADHD, I like that. I like being able to just focus. So yes, I have some tools. I've got night vision, goggles, night vision camera.
Yeah.
I don't use them. I like to use my eyes. I
Oh,
trust those more than I do something else. But
yes.
I would like to, if there were local people that
Hmm.
wanted to, come on out.
Yeah.
The more the merrier.
Yeah. I have a question. What area of Missouri are you in?
I'm in like the south central part of the state.
South Central. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
In the Ozarks, they call it the Ozarks.
Yeah. Ooh, cool.
It's like this, and the roads like this.
Very cool. Yeah. I've been through part of Missouri on my way to Oklahoma. Um, but
You
yeah.
remember the highway?
Oh, let me see. Other than getting off at St. Louis on off of 70 onto, can't remember what the route was.
You probably took that interstate straight across. Then you can
Yeah.
also go another way at right past me. There's a highway about 15 minutes away. I
Okay.
believe it's 60. I don't speak highway.
Yeah.
Sure. Uh,
But whenever you said that you prefer to use your eyes and your natural senses rather than the electronics, I put my thumbs up, both thumbs up, because after all these years and after spending God knows how much money on equipment, I hardly ever use the electronic equipment anymore. I find more success with using my God-given senses, my eyes, my ears, just being able to feel what's going on in the night. And
Trust
it's,
your gut.
yeah,
Trust that
exactly.
feeling. Trust it.
Absolutely. You have to use your instincts,
You bet.
and they're there for a reason.
We have other senses that they don't account for,
Yes.
I believe. And
Yes.
it's taken me a long time to get comfortable with that.
Hmm.
Just a little backstory. I spent a lot of time in my room as a kid, and I would kind of beam my thought to my sister. And it might be a long time since I'd see her. And every time I'd see her again, it was something to do with what I was beaming her. And
Oh,
this happens to me every day. I'll think of somebody. It just happened. It happens a lot. I'll think of someone, and they'll call me. I say, "You got my mental text message."
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. It does. Yes.
I had a hunting encounter. I think it was last year or the year before, and I was hunting a different part of my property that uh, I'll try to get into that a little later, but it scared me. I realized I only had two bullets with me that day. My rifle only shoots one at a time, and I did not have my pocket knife, which not saying that would have saved me, but I feel comfortable at least with my pocket knife bare minimum.
Yes.
And I realized I didn't have my knife, and I'm sitting there, and I'm sitting in an area I call the Buck Highway. It's just heavily traveled, and I've never hunted it before. And I'm sitting there against this tree, and I look over, and I can see probably 10 foot wide by like 20 foot long. It's all matted down. I'm not saying deer couldn't do that, but in my head, I could envision if I was a Bigfoot, that's where I'd want to be because that's right where the deer cross onto my property, right
Mm-hmm.
by a pond. And I hear there's Bigfoot and water. There's a connection there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excuse me. But I called my buddy and he kind of walked me out of the woods that day. Kept me from freaking out. But I
Yeah.
about had a panic attack. And that's not like, I mean, that's not normal for me. The woods calm me. I enjoy the
Yes.
woods. I like
Yes.
that. Nothing in the woods scares me.
Mm-hmm.
Bears and cougars kind of give me the heebie jeebies, but I'm not scared of snakes or any other critter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've had black bear really close to my house. I found their scat within 20 foot. Found a footprint a couple years ago, 20 foot from my shop door. So I
Mm-hmm.
know they're around. I see big rocks flipped over where they've been going after the bugs and stuff
Yeah.
because they eat a lot of bugs. So I know if my property or surrounding area can support big creatures like that, to me it's not a stretch that maybe it couldn't support like a Bigfoot too. Um, I don't know about anybody. I don't as far as your viewers, but I had to go woo with Bigfoot,
Okay.
you know, and that's
Mm-hmm.
me personally. And it doesn't. There's a lot of variance there, but I see it as you hear people talk about it floats like it just glides through the foliage a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't hear any footprint.
Right.
Um, something with a huge foot. Yeah, I mean, an elephant can walk quietly. I know, but at the same time, in my mind, I've heard a deer might make the ground vibrate. So I just I kind of had to go there for lots of different reasons. The fear is a big one. The quiet. It was here and then it was gone. I know about camouflage, being infantry, whatnot. A
Yeah.
qualified expert on camouflage. I'm pretty decent at it, and I understand how it works. And I can see how they could be really camouflaged. A deer can literally be right in front of you, and it
Yeah.
just where'd it come from?
Yeah.
I don't know how many times that's happened to me, and it blows my mind. It's like 30 foot in front of you. How in the world did you creep up on me? I'm looking for you, and you just creeped up. So if,
Yeah.
if natural creatures can do that, I would think a Bigfoot can too.
Yeah.
But there's so many encounters I've listened to and heard where they know for sure they watched it go through a tree or go on one side of a tree and it doesn't come out the other side,
Mm-hmm.
and it's too big to like hide behind this tree.
Right.
Um, I think you told me an interesting story. Uh, can't remember the details of it, but it kind of freaked me out a little bit. About the deer running or Bigfoot running through the tree and turning into something or something like that. I can't remember what you said. Is that you?
No.
I talked to a lot of different people, so it might
Was
not
it?
have been you. It
Wasn't
was
me.
recently.
I have other stories, but that one, no.
Right on. I was an ape guy, Gigantopithecus. That
Yeah.
was what made sense to me,
Yeah.
and I walked my whole life thinking that's what it most likely was. I entertained like I've literally bounced from camp to camp to camp to camp,
Hmm.
hung out in all of them, bounced back and forth, and I finally got to this place where there's a lot of Bigfoot people out there. There's so many more than what I ever thought there'd be that are interested in the topic, that are closet Bigfoot people. They can't
Yes.
talk about it publicly,
Right.
but they watch the shows. That's why there's so many shows.
Oh
So there's a
yeah.
lot of people interested, and I know they keep their eye peeled. So I mean, I know that deer. You don't see them every day, but there's hundreds of thousands of deer, millions of deer, and there's
Yes.
lots of people looking, and you don't see them all the time. So how many Bigfoot are there? I don't. I've heard lots of different numbers. I've heard 3 to 5,000, which, I mean, I would
Uh,
think if there's 3 to 5,000 of these things, we've
way,
come across more.
it's way beyond only 3 to 5,000. That's a low
Okay,
number.
okay,
It's much, much higher.
okay. Some of the odd things that I've heard. Did you ever hear Steve Isdall talk to? I believe it was Melba Ketchum. I think the DNA girl.
I missed that episode, and I
It was
meant.
$30. I actually spent the money to listen to it.
Oh, okay,
That's
so
not like
that's why
me.
I didn't watch it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It was $30, and you're talking to somebody that doesn't do that. I,
Yeah, yeah.
so for me
I've
to do
spoken.
that, I took notes.
Yeah, I've gone on to her website a number of times through the years, and I've spoken with her, well, online a few times. And I'm a huge supporter of her work.
I like the encounters. I feel like they're the best. Raw. People spit it out the way it happened. Uh, they don't embellish a lot.
Hmm.
Like my encounter was mundane. All I saw was a head, and I heard a noise.
Yeah.
That's not a whole lot to go on. So for me to even go and attach Bigfoot to it, it took a lot of it as supporting stuff for me to even get there, because I didn't want to be the city guy that moved to the country and get made fun of. You know, yeah, he heard a bobcat and he thinks it's a Bigfoot. And it was the night before deer season. Everybody's locked and loaded, ready to go. Nobody's going to be out messing around.
Hmm.
Uh, Here's some supporting. Friend of mine, his brother is a conservation agent, and I had him kind of play the noise for him. He said, "It sounds like a tornado siren." I said, "Yeah, but it wasn't." So
Yeah.
now what? That was where he dropped it. There's a local conservation agent. I asked him. He said the same thing, exact identical. I said, "Okay, it wasn't a tornado siren. So what was it?" That's all I want to know. This is 4 years now with Google. Somebody's got to tell me. Somebody knows or has evidence, I would think. Show me a video. I'd really like to see it. 'Cause I just want to put it to bed. Not that I'm not ashamed of Bigfoot, obviously, but at the same time, I don't want to blast it everywhere I go. I see people's wall come up as soon as you bring it up. Uh, I usually ask people, do you have anything you'd put in your weird category? That's how I put it. And
Okay.
they like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, like, you know, ghosts, Bigfoot, aliens, stuff like that. And usually they'll tell me some kind of something. I have a friend saw a centaur. Who says they've seen a centaur? My buddy did. I believe him. He's a trustworthy guy. I've known
Yeah.
him 20 something years. He's one of my brothers. Somebody I consider like
Yeah.
I'd take a bullet for this guy. And he's a twin. They were coming back from St. Louis. They were hockey players, so they had to travel to practice. They were in
Hmm.
minor league. a triple A or double A, and one of them was asleep, the other one was driving, and he said he woke up, looked over, and he's like, "What's up, man?" He could tell his twin was messed up. And he said, "You're not gonna believe me if I told you." He beats it out of him. He saw a centaur galloping down the road and looked in the rearview mirror as he passed it, and he said he could see its eyes were red, like glowing. Like
Wow.
a couple years later, I Googled it just thinking about it one day, and I Googled that stretch of highway, and I just put that stretch of highway, centaur sighting, and there were two or three other encounters. Those other people have seen it too. I thought
Really
that was wild. I didn't expect that.
interesting.
Yeah, that was
Wow.
really
And
strange.
right
I
there in
believe
Missouri.
it was. Let's see. Like I said, I don't speak highway. I kind of not that guy, but it's the main highway that runs through Poplar Bluff. I think that was. Uh, I think I think that's the highway.
Okay.
57, maybe 53. Either way, I did a brain dump. Um, trying to think of some other supporting. Um, so the noise that I heard, fast forward, it was 2 weeks when my buddy heard it. Maybe another couple weeks, I heard it again, and it was I heard it at 12:30. My buddy heard it at 2:30. I heard it again at like 3:15. And I'm thinking it's something that loud. You'd think it would be a common something people would talk about.
Yeah.
Um, I actually ran
Yeah.
into a guy at Walmart, and I was talking to him, and I played the noise for him. He's the guy selling hunting license, and he told me the town over from me is like just a couple miles away. He said quite a few people he's talked to have heard that noise in that area. So I didn't set out to be a researcher. I really don't necessarily want to be one. I don't want to be under that much scrutiny. I'm okay with it now. I've had to sing. I've been on camera. These are things I don't necessarily like. So I'm getting to where I'm all right with it. You know,
Oh, good.
let's walk through the woods. I'll show you what I'd
Good.
like to teach. You know, to me, that's what you should want to know.
Yeah.
If that weed over there you can eat it and it's medicine, heck yeah, sign me up. And I learned a lot of that, so I
Mhm.
want to share that while I can. Before if it's necessary.
Yep.
I'm going
Wow.
to share some of these top secret drawings with you if you're all right with it as we talk.
Sure.
I'll just kind of
Oh,
hold them up. I'll just keep
sure.
talking, but this was my first experiment. And if you look close, I kind of messed up.
Oh, wow.
And this was what I was shooting for. I just wanted that white,
Yeah.
highlight. And I actually kind of covered up kind of some other stuff, but that's what
Yeah.
I want my logo to be something a lot like that.
That is cool. I love you can see the shading behind it.
Yeah, it's
Very,
what do
very
you call it?
slight.
I'm drawing the light, not the dark. So it,
Okay.
it rewires your brain to look at it different. So
Yeah.
that's what gave me the idea. So as that's my very first page, and I'm trying to capture that same thing. Trying to do it again, and
Yeah.
they just kind of they evolve from there.
Mm-hmm.
So like these
Very
are really rough. Really, to me, it's
wow.
these kind of mean a lot to me because it shows I don't necessarily have to finish everything that I draw, but I'm still kind of going for that same type.
Yeah. Wow.
Uh,
Yeah.
I
Aren't
really
those
have a heart for the
beautiful?
people that seen these things
Yeah.
because I know what it can do to you. I had already dealt with it my whole
Mm,
life. I've always been a believer. If you tell me you saw something, I believe you.
mm-hmm.
You're not gonna make it up. Why would you?
Right.
Nobody wants that scrutiny. I'm not a fan of that one, but it,
Wow.
It's part of the process.
Yeah.
I'm getting a
Oh,
little better. I've
wow.
never shared these publicly before. Some of them. I've never done anything with this one. Let's see.
Amazing talent. I am
Thank
in
you.
total awe. That's just, wow.
I really
Wow.
like that one.
Yes.
I quit signing my artwork so I can use it again for other projects or whatnot.
Oh,
And I should sign the back of it at least and
yes.
date
Yeah,
it.
you should. Yeah.
That way I know when I did it.
Yes.
But this is kind of something similar. I'm trying to work out the bugs on. I might have used that one.
Very cool.
Some of these aren't
Ooh.
finished. You know, I'm just playing with different ideas, and
Oh my goodness. Now, have you ever drawn the one that you saw where it was looking sideways that you saw?
I got a Bigfoot. Get me. I don't know if you can see it, but you see the googly eye on the Bigfoot.
Yeah.
It's just a magnet I put on there today,
Oh,
and it was like, what am I feeling back here? It's kind of just propped up back there. I don't know if he's gonna disappear. I like this one quite a bit.
oh, wow.
Can you see that one?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Oh my.
This one kind of resembles like the way it was kind of looking and stuff.
Okay.
You know, the way it's kind of, well, I'd say like a kind of like a 3/4 looking away from you.
Right. They will do that. They'll look away or look sideways. That way they are disguising their face so you don't get
Full
the
on.
way that the human eye, is drawn to a face. So they will block their face, cover it up, or look through tree limbs, or else they'll turn around or turn to the side. But even so, they're still watching you. They're still aware of you. So he probably was watching you, even though
I've
he was
I've heard it
sideways.
said when they do that, they're allowing you to see it, and they're playing misdirection so his
Yeah,
buddy can flank you. I've heard
yeah,
that before,
oh
and
yeah,
that's what it felt like to me.
yeah,
I feel like my senses were telling me there's something over here,
yeah.
where this
Oh,
thing's over here. I really
they,
do want to show you. I hope I can keep my stream going
wow,
while we talk.
wow. Yeah, they'll use misdirection. Yeah, and they'll divert your attention this way while the other ones are coming up in another direction. Oh yeah, I've experienced that.
Okay. I don't actively go out to look for the things
Mm-hmm.
because you find what you look for.
Yeah,
I don't want to run into one by myself. I just don't want to do that.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. I get to a point. Wow, wow. Yeah, I will push to a point, but then I back off because I don't want to stress them too much. Uh, oh
I like
my, look
that
at
one.
that expression. Oh my,
I've never shared a lot of these, like I said, publicly before. So
yeah.
um, some of these I think I have. I've given a few of these away. I'm
Mhm.
more likely to give one of my small ones away. Uh,
Oh my, that one looks so mysterious.
I really try to change something about it every
Mm,
drawing. I feel like I've hit a plateau, and I kind of feel like they're all starting to look the same. So I need to actually talk to more people who've had,
yeah,
actually had,
yeah,
closer. Because I'm estimating I was at least 80 yards away
yeah.
using these binoculars, and they're not real big. I
Oh
like
yeah.
carrying these because I can put them in my pocket.
Hmm.
This
Well,
is
maybe
I
we
like
can
this
get
one.
you on another time along with a witness, and you can draw right here on live on screen while the witness, we'll have you and a witness um, while you draw it. I
I'd
think that
love to
would be
do that.
pretty cool.
I used to want to be a sketch artist for I kind of wanted to work for the FBI and, catch the bad guy,
Hmm.
being able to fill the void. Um, you've seen some of my animations. I'm getting a lot better at it. And the closer I can get my drawing, the more realistic it is. And
Yes,
so
you're all
this
pretty better.
AI thing has actually helped me draw better. It's helped me work on my shading and whatnot.
Yeah.
I love that one though.
Yeah, so do I. That one is just wow. Wow.
I'll show you the drawing that one is based off of that I used to make it.
Yeah, this one. Ooh.
I love the way his face comes out. I try to
Yeah,
capture that effect in my
yeah.
drawings, and it's hard to capture that.
Oh
He just
my.
looks annoyed, doesn't he?
He does. Yep.
He looks like he's like eye roll, like get this over
Uh,
with. I
oh
like
wow.
that one.
Yes.
Let's see.
Okay.
I'm almost done with these black ones.
We have a volunteer here for a witness to do a drawing.
Sure.
Uh,
I thought
yeah.
StreamYard would actually be a good way to do it, and I can't really show it to you, but I have um, different articulating arms and stuff that I've
Mm-hmm.
been experimenting with, to where I can hang it over my sketchboard. I only done it a few times now, but I think I could train it on my sketchbook, and I just listen, and
Okay.
they could give me pointers as we go, and I can erase and depending on how many times I've got to redraw it, I can get a
Wow.
rough sketch pretty quick. You saw what I did in just maybe 5 minutes there, but
Mm-hmm. Yes.
growing up, nobody
Um,
wanted to wait. If you're drawing something, nobody wanted to wait, so I learned how to draw quickly.
oh.
I tried to anyway. I do a few things that I didn't learn in school, things I've
Mm-hmm.
created. Um, Here, this is insider info here. I like you and I like your show, so this is a makeup brush, and I use that for shading.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't learn that. I didn't pick that up from anybody. That's just my own experiment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I showed that one yet or not. I like that one.
Wow.
I try really
Yes.
hard to get the eyes far apart.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
the researcher, what's his name? He's an army guy. I had him right there on the tip of my tongue. Had some really good footage. Uh, Todd Standing. He
Oh,
says their eyes, the human head, our eyes only like one eye span from the other one.
yeah.
So they say they're really far apart, like three and a half eye
Yeah.
lengths, which is,
Yeah.
I'm using an app that's looking for a human face, and I can stretch it just enough where I can get it to register it sees the face.
Okay.
So I'd say as AI gets better,
Mm-hmm.
it's either not going to work as good or it's going to work better. And so far, it's working better and better and better.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
you say how?
Thinker. Yeah. Have you ever watched Thinker Thunker?
Oh, you bet. He's
Yeah.
he's really good at what he does.
He does. He's got excellent tips for proportions. Proportions between the eyes and the distance from the nose to
Forearm
the
to elbow and
forearms,
whatnot. You bet.
etc. Um, and I think that would be of a huge help, to any artist. Oh, those are just fantastic.
One of the things that got me started, and it made me uncomfortable, but Kerry Arnold,
Yes.
I had joined one of his live shows, which I'm not a fan of. I can't stand how you can only put like a line or two worth you can only one topic at a time. you can't fully articulate, and I didn't. Whereas before, you could leave a long comment.
Oh,
So I wasn't really trying to support the live. Now I like them because it is a good way where we can do this,
yeah.
and we can actually get somewhere with what we're talking about.
Yes.
Um, so either way, I started supporting the lives, and I reached out after my encounter because he said he wanted someone to draw what he saw. So my
Wow.
ears perked up, and I said, "Hey, I'd love to do it." And he
Wow.
said, "Hit me up, Chris." And I didn't do it because I had to email. And to me, it's funny to think about now, but that was a mountain for me.
Yeah.
I didn't want to touch it. I didn't want to do it, and it just I didn't know how. And it's comical now, but he passed away before
Yeah.
I got the opportunity,
Oh.
and I didn't know it at the time. But Larry Bates, he's a Bigfoot artist, and he
Mm-hmm.
passed away. And I felt like there's room for me at the table, kind of. It's kind of how
Yeah.
I really felt like Carrie kind of pushed a hole big enough that those are big shoes to fill. I
Yeah.
mean, he was a very talented guy, and you know,
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
really liked him. And
Yeah.
here's a
Larry
female.
Batson.
I don't draw female very much.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah. Larry Batson had done a live drawing of one from a friend of mine from his description of it. And it was, can't remember what podcast he was on, but it was, no, I think it was Larry Batson's own
Thank
podcast,
you.
as a matter of fact. Yeah.
I misspoke and said Bates. I think
That's okay.
this this one's kind of hard to see what's going on. I was really liking the eyes and the way the eye shine was kind of on these. So
Yeah.
if you look, he's holding a baby, or
Oh,
she. I don't.
oh,
It's not real detailed, but that's kind of what I was going for.
okay. Yeah.
Kind of protecting. All you see is like the top of the head and the eyes.
Hmm.
Um,
Catherine has a question. Excuse me. I'm sorry
shoot,
for
go
interrupting,
for
but
it.
she asked, what is Chris drawing these with? And how long does it take him to do one? And how many drawings does he think he has completed?
Wow. Let me
Um,
see. That's a couple part question.
yeah. What are you drawing these with?
I usually use pencil. I've done a few ink. For me, I want something fast. The faster the better.
Yeah.
Um, paint just didn't seem like it was fast enough for me.
Yeah.
So now I'm learning, so I'm getting a lot faster. So I'm kind of branching out, trying to do some different things. And these I do with pencil. I was not going to share any of this, but give it away, right? I'll do
Yeah.
something different.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I already shared this one, but see the
Yeah.
eye shine. And, this is what gave me the idea to do the way to get some of the effects that I've gotten. I've got a couple more ideas that I want to play with. Uh,
Hmm.
it's hard to see on this one, but see how light it is?
Oh, yes.
It's
You
not
can barely.
very, you barely make it out.
Yeah.
I kind of like that effect
Yes.
because a lot of times people say they've seen things, but they didn't get the details.
Right.
So that's kind of what I envisioned.
Yeah.
Here's a funny one I shared earlier. It reminds me of Animal off the Muppets or something.
Oh my goodness.
I, I
Now,
I did that one with colored pencil.
how long does it take you to do a drawing?
Thanks for keeping me focused. Um, Usually I can do one of these in a sitting, and a lot of times, let's see, I'll start drawing anywhere from 9 to 10 at night, and then have it usually done now, like 3 or 4, and then I can work on the content and have that done. So I can do one a night if
Mhm.
it's kind of plain. The more detail, like the ones where I put all the faces in,
Right.
uh, those can be 4 or 5 days worth of
Right.
uh, editions.
Mm-hmm.
That
Wow.
one I was, I was trying to go for like a more animal type,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people describe it's like an ape. A lot of people say it's like a person. I think there's different varieties of this.
Oh, wow.
I really like that one. That one
Yeah.
actually animated really well.
Wow.
I didn't
Looks like
expect that.
yeah. Looks like the moon. He's looking up at the moon.
That's the. I don't know if you noticed or not. The one I created for you just a second ago. I put a moon in the background. Here's
Oh.
one I just did.
Oh.
I'd
Oh.
like to get closer. Sibylla Irwin. She's really talented.
Yes.
She's part of the
Yes.
reason why I started too. I reached out to her because I didn't want to offend anybody or, step on toes
Yeah.
doing what I was doing. And she kind of gave me the green light. And had I not had her permission, I needed that for
Mm-hmm.
me, because I didn't want to start off on a bad foot. And
Yeah.
she kind of gave me that green light. So thank you, Sibylla. I appreciate it. I've grown a lot. I don't
She,
know.
she's a fantastic lady. I love
She's
Sybil.
awesome. Yeah, me too. She's one of my top people, and I'd take a bullet for her.
Yeah. She's a
She's
very
been there.
sweet
She's been there
lady.
for me a couple of times where I was kind of questioning should I stay or go. I've about given it up about 10 times,
Ah,
just
wow.
because I noticed that mm, people don't understand my parodies and why I do what I do, but free speech is very important to me. That's
Yes.
There's the moon in the background.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see that.
you see
Oh,
it? If you look real close, I put an owl in there for you too.
yes. Oh my
So
goodness, look at that.
either way, he's kind of standing there in front of like a pond or something.
Wow.
That's the
Love it.
idea.
Oh, I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Amazing.
Okay, I think I'm about done with the. So that's. Let's see. They asked how long it took me.
Yes.
What was the other? There's like a that was like a three
Uh,
part question.
the third one was about how many have you done?
Okay, I have a sketchbook that I call a jumbo, about that thick. I believe it's 250 pages, and I have three of those that I've completed. And a lot of times I skip a page between those.
Hmm.
So let's see. I've got hundreds now. And for the longest time, what was getting me to complete the drawing was the
Hmm.
animation. That's what made me really, so that's why I didn't want to let it go. That was giving me uh, I knew I hit it when I get it to animate. Some of these take me so long
Hmm.
to create that I'd like to share, I'd like to share more, but I can only do so much, and I'm only using my phone.
Yeah.
So I
Wow.
got to give you a backstory on this first one. This
Yes.
one, th- he asked
Oh,
different cryptids. This is
yeah.
actually a cryptid, and the guy discovered it. I believe he's Indian, I believe, but I drew that for him. This one I didn't finish because I really want to nail this one good. But he's kind
Mm,
of sitting with his back turned, just
yep.
kind of sitting there, just kind of thinking, contemplating. There's
Hmm.
not a whole lot to animate there, but I can actually do it now. So I'm gonna finish that one soon. Um, I probably made 400 or 500 reels, and each one of those is a drawing. So uh,
Wow.
I've gotten a lot better. Here's another rough draft of
Now, is that a dire wolf or what is that?
it's 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 kind of mixed with, it's like a cat dog. It's kind of in between, and
Okay.
I'm gonna mispronounce it, but I believe it's called Nigiri Kudova. I believe.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't. I'm not. I got white man's tongue. This was really hard to show. when I
Wow.
press too hard, you can see it kind of distorts. Like I can't really show you a good.
Yeah.
This is the first one I ever filmed myself. See the faces everywhere. There's like hundreds of them.
Yes, I see
Yeah,
that.
it takes a lot to put all them faces in there. And let's see. Sometimes I'll turn it upside down and I'll keep going. Uh, but there's face. If you look hard enough, there's faces there too.
Yep, I see that.
I really wanted to only share the ones with faces and do posters that would
Mhm.
turn, right? That way I could turn
Okay.
it. You get sick of looking at it, flip it upside down.
Wow.
This one's not a
That-
Bigfoot, but I was feeling it. So it just kind of said what I was thinking. So it's a little white kitty.
Aw.
That animated really good. Kind of got me out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Kind of
Oh,
adds some, biker Bigfoot. I got.
it's what I was thinking. Hey, Ron Howells.
I've got a friend in Arkansas. He's a Bigfooter pastor, but he's
Mm-hmm.
also a big biker guy. I really
Yep.
like this one. This one didn't get the exposure I was really.
Yeah.
I did this one for Father's Day. Let me see if I can't uh switch my lighting.
Let me see if
Dad's
I
got his
can
hands
bring up.
out.
Yeah, I had interviewed Ron Howells. When was it? A couple weeks ago. He's the biker Bigfoot. He also has a organization where he helps um, uh, military or retired military veterans with PTSD. And let me see if I can bring up his photo. Okay,
He's an
hold on.
artist,
No, he rides around on his motorcycle in his Bigfoot costume,
right on.
leathers and everything. Okay, hold on a second, and I'll get it.
That's dedication right there.
Let's see.
Getting a little shiny. It's hot.
I'll bet. All right, let me see here. There it is. Okay,
Still 82 degrees on my front porch, so I'm
there it
sitting in
is.
a sauna.
Okay, yep, I got
That's
him on.
awesome.
Yep.
I didn't realize who that was. I've seen him a lot. That's cool.
Okay. Yeah, he's right here in Southwest Pennsylvania.
Right on. My foster parents, they do. They make trikes, Challenger motorcycles.
Mm-hmm.
They're like a V8 trike.
Wow.
That's awesome. I'm too scared to ride a bike. Um, there's a lot can go wrong. I'll just say that. A lot of
That's
bad
for
drivers. A lot of bad drivers out there. I like riding them, but I don't want to be in control of it. I like
wow.
this one, but I'd like to put some more detail in this one. I feel like this one's lacking something. But see how he's looking and see how that forehead and head slope?
Yeah.
That's really that's what I saw that day. That this is really similar. Um, I couldn't make out a real good detail of the hair, but I
Mm-hmm.
felt like it was more short and spiky, kind of
Okay.
more even around the head. I
Yeah.
see a lot of them have long hair, and I kind of dabble back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the best at drawing hair, but I'm getting better at it. Um, I thought
Yeah.
this would make a cool sticker or T-shirt.
Oh, okay.
I copied the idea from I believe it's an Oklahoma Bigfoot, I think, and they have like a Bigfoot kind of coming out of Oklahoma, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do one for Missouri. So
That is cool. Love that. Wow.
Missouri, born and raised. If you wanted to know kind of where I live, I'm round about right here in Missouri. I
Okay.
lived
Right.
over here, and I lived over here. And I was
Either the
born up here.
armpit or the chin.
Yeah, yeah. I live in the chin. I love this one.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I don't know something about it. This one really like. There's certain ones that mean a lot more to me because I kind of feel like, oh man, I really got it that time. I got what I was
Mhm.
trying to get across.
Yeah.
So that one means a lot to me.
Yeah, the eyes on that one, amazing. Wow.
I'm still learning.
Yeah.
All I got was high school education. This one has been commissioned, so I can't share that one. It's going
Okay.
in a book.
All right.
You'll have to buy the book. Um, I'm really looking forward to that one being out there in the world. I love that drawing. So he's actually going to commission me to do some more work.
Oh, cool.
Um, a lot of people they describe scant hair on the chest, not too much.
Yeah.
And if you look at silverbacks, they kind of have that same type. And they live out in the elements, so
Yeah.
and they're always constantly hunched over. Um, I recently just got drenched while I was at the creek, the wettest I've ever been out in the woods, just a couple days ago. So you kind of hunch over, to keep yourself as dry as you can. And anyway, that one to me, I see female in there. I don't know, maybe, maybe not.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you mean.
I
Yeah.
haven't had that many. I haven't heard that many encounters of female Bigfoot.
Yeah.
This one's really detailed.
Wow.
Um, Indians do something called, I think it's called scatter vision, but I unfocus my eyes when I draw and I take the whole thing in and I see the dark places, and that's how I create my faces. And
Okay.
it's a common thing. There's a Bigfoot drawing from like the 1900s or something,
Mhm.
and the guy shared it on a cryptid show, and there was faces all over it. And I said, "Wow, I love the faces." And he didn't know what I was talking about. I said, "You didn't see all the faces all over it?" And there's faces everywhere, like just like I do. So, um,
Wow.
a lot of these, when I do these faces, like you see that big one on the torso,
Yes. Yes.
it'll inspire me to do the next one.
Oh my.
Sometimes it's a wrinkle in my shoe, or just whatever will catch my eye, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I got to draw that."
Yeah.
So
Look at that
it's
perspective. Wow.
it's kind of my spin on it, I guess. I don't
Yeah.
know. I call it pareidoia,
Yep. Mhm. Oh,
which I've
wow.
actually had in the woods before, where you have
Yep.
a staring contest with something, and 20, 30 minutes, you walk over to it, and it's like, man, that's not what I seen in my head. I,
Ooh.
I
Yeah.
recently finished this one. I was really going for a slender, uh, kind of like, man, I can't get that one to focus in on it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
He looks pissed.
Yeah, I was going for, all mine usually kind of have like just a normal blank expression, but I was going for angry.
Oh, wow.
This is my self portrait Bigfoot.
Oh, yeah?
It's my first self portrait, so I squatched myself out.
Oh,
I don't know
cool.
if you can see it or not, but I was looking in the mirror when I drew it. So
Oh, my goodness.
I realized that most of my art's probably going to get stolen, so I might as well just give it away.
Well, you're
When I
just,
get really good, then I'll start charging folks.
I'd say you're really good. And if I were you, I would start charging. So, guys, if any of you are interested, hit him up and make
I,
sure you pay him a fair price, too.
I've only sold maybe in 4 years, maybe like 4 or 5 drawings,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard for me to part with them. They all mean something. This one's really important to me, and I didn't finish it, but
Oh,
you can kind of guess what he's doing there.
yeah.
So I really wanted that one to. I wanted to do that one really well. I used to
Yeah,
have a hard time finishing.
yeah, that one you'll need to spend some time with, I think. Boy, look at the
I like
expression.
having someone to tell me when to quit because a lot of times I'll just keep at it and I'll ruin it.
Yeah,
My
I
wife,
think.
she's usually that person like, all right, that one's good enough.
Oh,
If
look at that.
I really
Sad.
like that one. Yeah, I said I was going for said.
Yeah. Oh,
So I'm learning. You know, it's a. At first, I didn't like the process, and I was trying to force everything to happen. But now I'm actually enjoying it, and I'm having fun. And people don't like it when you have fun. You know,
well, oh, okay, Mark. And I think I mentioned this to you before. I'm not sure, but uh, you make prints and sell the prints. You uh,
that's
number
that's what I've been trying to do for 4 years.
Well,
And I have something called Art Storefront, and I think it's causing some of my technology issues because I don't understand how it works, and everything has to. In order to have a business, you have to have every duck in a row working, and it
yeah,
sometimes I can't see the forest for the trees.
yeah. Now, do you have a website that or do you do it primarily through Facebook?
I did have the website. Um, I'm actually working on that right now. I have a guy actually going to restart and kind of redo everything.
Okay.
Um, if you try to go to the website, it won't take you there. I was getting messages saying I needed to pull everything off Google, so I pulled everything down. And either way, it's really hard for me to tell what's real and what's a scam. And I'm
Yeah.
way too trusting. And to me, I wanna believe that people are just honest, and unfortunately, they're not. So
Yeah, I agree.
stand up for that one. I
Wow.
really, I really felt like I got it here.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
really
wow.
like that one quite a bit.
Yes. Love that expression. My. Yeah, you've got that. You capture their emotions and the expressions very well.
This one's probably not gonna be for sale. I might. I'm looking into doing some charity stuff to because I really don't want people to say, "Oh, he's just in it for the money." I really want people to. Mm, I'd love people to appreciate what I do,
Yes,
and
I agree. But then again, you know, it's it's work. No matter how much you enjoy what you're doing and expressing yourself, you should get paid for what you're doing because you're putting a heck of a lot of time and effort into it.
it'll come in time. I'm trying. Like I said, I'm trying to trust the process and not get stressed. I'm just, as long
Wow.
as I can continue to draw. When you
Yeah.
add money to the picture, it changes the art. The flow stops.
It does.
I wanted people to appreciate and want what I've already created. I don't mind drawing for people. I've done quite a few commissions, but I just wanted to create what I want to create and go
Yeah.
with it where I want to go with it. And I kind of like this one too.
Oh yeah, look at that little, you can see just a little slight smile in those eyes. Just
Yeah,
very, very slight.
that one
Wow.
kind of resembles, if you flipped it, that's kind of, it resembles kind of what I thought I saw with less
Okay.
beard.
Ah, oh my.
This one's kind of rare. I don't usually put a background, but
Yeah.
I was going for a reflection in the water. I was
Okay.
trying something different, and it actually worked out pretty good. So
Yeah, Gary
I
says he understands what you're saying. He gives away more walking sticks than he sells. And no, I understand. Um, And I wrote my book, and I would love to give them away. I would
Save
love
me a
to.
copy. I'd like to buy an autographed copy.
Absolutely.
Save me one.
But hey, you put work, you put effort into it, and that way people will value. They value the pure art, because I can appreciate
There's two
amazing.
Bigfoot in this one.
Yeah.
And if you look over here, there's a big face. I didn't
Oh
finish
yeah.
this one. I started to, but I animate a lot of times as I go,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes I just drop it because it animated something good. So sometimes I'll just leave them alone.
Yeah.
I like going through these because it kind of takes me down the road of what I was doing. This one's kind of unfinished as well,
Yeah.
but I liked where this one was headed to.
Yeah.
There's a
Walking up.
handful of faces in this one too.
Wow.
Um, the rays on the sun like that are really important to me. I had that on my landscaping logo. This one, it kept
Ooh.
flagging me. Let me see. It's a hard.
Wow.
It was
Wow.
flagging me because it was seeing the naked dude. I know it was.
Oh,
Which yes,
okay.
he's naked, but there's nothing.
Yeah,
You
there's
know, there's
nothing to see.
nothing. There's a couple faces in that one. I don't always do the faces, but um, if you look here, see the negative space.
Okay.
There's a
Yeah.
couple faces. They're a little less detailed, but I
Wow.
really like that one. I was trying to go for really long arms. That one actually animated fairly well once I figured it out.
Oh my.
I had to create a lot of different just techniques. I guess I didn't finish this one either. I was going
Hmm.
for Indian on this one.
Okay. Yeah, you can see that.
The like
Yes.
the I think they call it like a hawk nose or hawk bill or something like that.
Yeah.
Because most of the encounters I hear, they have like a hooded nose, but then I also hear like more of a monkey type, uh, more like a dog type nose.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I recently invested in a company called Evolve, and they teach you how to draw or paint oil paintings. So I'm looking forward to getting started in that program. So I'm gonna do like you and kind of take a step back if I can, and
Yeah.
really try to get through that program. And I know
Mm.
it's gonna teach me what it is I'm missing, so I can really create what it is I want.
Well, there
Because
you go.
I'm missing something in the shading. There's some art training I didn't get there or something.
Yeah. Well,
So
it's always good to hone your talent.
so I share on Facebook and Instagram right now. That's
Okay.
the main places that I share. Uh,
And is it through, is it AOS Chris Miller?
on Instagram, that's what it is, and on Facebook, it's just Chris Miller. And
Okay.
I also have a page called AOS Sketch Squatch, and that's really what I started with, and I was gonna run with it, but it was too much to type. It was hard to type, and it was lacking something. So this is
Oh,
I don't know what it is. It's just my interpretation of like a water dragon type thing.
yeah.
I actually put a
Oh,
couple faces in that one, and it's kind of wild. I don't look at anything. I just draw.
okay.
Some artists, they look at something and they copy it, and those artists are fantastic, but that's no fun to me. Not as much fun. I really like the freedom of being free to make what I want, but a lot of times I don't have the skill to finish
Mhm.
it the way I want. Um, let's see, I already showed that one. I'll show you that. I love this one.
Oh, yeah, look at all the faces.
There's so many.
Oh,
To me,
my.
that's the fun part. You
Yes.
know, to where I want you to look at the whole thing first and then just get drawn in. So
Yeah, that one almost gives the impression of being 3D already.
I'm getting a lot better at shading, and I'm also getting better at using different LEDs. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I was going for a Bigfoot salute, and I just kind of gave up on the hand.
Ah,
But
yeah,
I
you
got it.
can.
I got that one to animate. So I really thought that people would see what it is I'm doing, and really kind of. I don't like AI. I don't like technology at all. But I'm
Yeah.
forced, and I've gotten to a point where I'm addicted to seeing my artwork come to life.
Mm-hmm.
That is so much. That's such a cool feeling to know that I worked on it until it worked.
Well, it's based off of it's using your work, so it's still original. It's just that AI gives it movement.
This one is a Yeti, and it's based off of a skull. There was a man recently shared a picture of a skull, and I kind of forensically I enjoy the freedom in that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and I was going for windy hair and trying to either way. He really liked it.
Wow.
But he's an 80-something-year-old man. He doesn't have anything to gain by sharing now. But he shared this photo he took in '94, so he
Oh,
liked that drawing.
wow.
So I actually tried again, but I
That's
like this one too.
very cool. Very, very cool.
I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate the viewers.
Yeah.
I appreciate the questions. Um, this one was an accident, and when I animated it, it looked like he was sleeping, so I left it like his eyes
Oh.
are closed. So I made him snore. Like I said, I just go with it. Whatever it is that pops into my head. And sometimes I actually draw on the back by accident. So that one's a double. That's a
Oh,
two for one deal.
got a twofer.
Yeah, a twofer. Um,
Yeah, Catherine says it would be quite difficult to decide which one that she likes best. And
I really, I'd like to hear what people, feel or think, or, I love those comments where people actually critique it. It doesn't offend me.
yeah, Patty says don't underrate yourself. Those are excellent drawings.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
getting a lot of very positive feedback
I
on
felt
here.
like I got it good with this one. Like,
Oh,
I was
wow.
happy with the shape and the hair and because people describe not having a neck. And I'm like, how's it not have a neck? Gotta have a neck. Okay. I think that's it. Let me double check here. I gotta be careful and not share that one. I said I wouldn't.
Yeah, yeah,
Don't
don't
want
want,
to jump the gun.
nope.
So if you would like, I'd like to show you another one. Another
Okay.
sketchbook.
Yeah, it's getting a little late, so just maybe a couple more and then,
Sure. This is this is a jumbo.
oh, wow.
So it's got 120 pages.
Oh,
I don't
my.
know if I. Okay, yeah, this one's got some. I never thought I'd even finish one of these, let alone three.
Oh,
This
my
one
God.
here is the one that I used when I heard the wood knock.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So this one means a lot.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow.
it
Oh,
didn't do very well, but I thought this one will come back. People they'll appreciate that one. I
yes.
don't like the mouth of the eagle much. Either way,
Oh, even so, that is, oh my goodness, wow. That one you should make multiple prints of and put
that's
that one for
that's
sale.
been my goal. It's just trying to plug everything in and get it done. And
Yeah,
uh,
I love that one. That's just wow.
I thought
Let's
when I get really good, people will seek me out. You know, um,
yeah, yeah. There's a couple friends of mine on here. I don't know if they're still on or not, but they have another podcast called Old Line Cryptids out of Maryland, and
okay,
they want you on their podcast.
sure,
So I will forward uh,
that's awesome.
your profile over to them.
Hey, what was that name again?
Their podcast is Old Line Cryptids. I'll send you a link to their YouTube channel.
Cool, thank you.
Let's see.
When I first started, I put a lot more detail into them.
Okay. And
I really like this one too.
do this while I'm thinking about it. Okay. Oh, wow. My, what an impact that gives you. Just amazing.
I appreciate it. I hate to share everything because I know I'm probably ruining the market for anyone else, but
No, no.
I
Uh,
really wanted people to really be able to critique and see what it is and help me change it. You know, critique it and get it closer to what they've
yeah.
seen or what they've heard of.
Well,
This one's
I
going
think you're
for
going about it the right way that, you're continuing your education, by getting better at something, you constantly work at your craft
yeah.
and practice at it, and that's the way to do it. And you're seeking out further education, and you're doing all the right things.
Thank you. I appreciate you letting me get on here. It means a lot to me.
I am so glad that you agreed to come on. I really am.
How long have
This
we been going for now? I haven't even looked at the clock.
well, for me it's almost 10 o'clock, so for you it's almost 9.
I'm just now waking up. It's coffee time for me. I've been trying to switch the days and it's just not working.
Oh,
It's cool at night. I can focus.
yep.
My front porch becomes a different place at
I'll
night.
bet.
So,
Yeah, I'll bet. A little bit cooler during the night.
is there any questions we didn't get to?
Uh, I haven't seen any. There's a lot of comments on they're all very good. No critique necessary, and I agree. I haven't seen anything that I would really criticize.
There's a lot of
Let's
people that's really made a big impact when I was thinking about, switching and doing something else. They kind of gave me what I needed to keep going. So the people that really stuck with me, like Richie B, people like, that didn't think I was trying to get one over on anybody. That means a lot to me. So I appreciate everybody, showing up and, staying this long. So like I said,
well,
I'll try to make my content work,
yeah,
something that you want to see again. So
yeah. Well, get your website up, and we want to see that. And uh, I know we had one gentleman, express an interest in you doing a drawing from what he saw. So we'll try to arrange getting you back on and getting together with him, get to the schedules
Right on.
together.
Yeah,
Uh,
all I need is usually just a couple days heads up, just so I can make sure that I got time to sit down. So
sure.
I
We
appreciate
can,
you again.
oh, you're welcome. And let me see, make sure that there's no more questions on here. Um, oh, okay, wait a minute here. Here's a question. Uh, do you, oh, okay. Do you draw any, do you draw any with more hair on the face?
I want to. I really do. I've only heard a handful of encounters, and they don't paint a very good picture for me to do it. And also, I won't be able to use that for content. Does that
Yeah,
make sense? Because it
yeah,
won't see a face.
yeah,
So I would love to do that. That's a really good question.
yeah.
Because I've
Well,
heard the same thing where they're completely
yeah, where the hair comes down over the
like this
eyes. Yeah,
everywhere. Yeah,
yeah,
I might do that. I might do that tonight.
yeah. Just maybe try like a little waterfall effect, but with the
That,
eyes.
that's a good
The eyes.
idea. Yeah, because I wouldn't think you'd see much detail.
Well, yeah, maybe on that black paper you might have a little bit more success.
Yeah, I might try
Maybe,
that.
but no, I love that black paper with the white and silver. Um, Kind of reminds me of some of the nighttime uh, sightings that I had where they show more as like silver, glinting silver,
I've heard
and
that as well.
moonlight. Yeah.
I've got a few encounters that have kind of crossed my path, and I'd like to investigate a couple of them just for, to me, it's kind of an interesting, just to nail down the story and
Hmm.
whatnot. But I've got the tools to do it. I just don't have the people, that are willing to go and kind of camp, if you will, or
Hmm.
kind of track me down because I'm kind of in the woods. That's my spot.
Yep. You find your peace.
Yeah,
Okay, we have a question here. Have you ever experienced infrasound?
I think that thing the night that I heard, I think that's what that feeling was. I think infrasound's a like a vibrational thing, is what I
Yeah.
think it is.
Yeah.
Um, Tigers do it and stuff, so
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure that's what rattled me the most
Yeah.
because I can't imagine a small creature making such a long. In the creature world, the smallest critters make the loudest noises sometimes.
Yeah.
So like I said, I did not want it to be Bigfoot. I didn't, but here we are. Here we are.
Yes. Yes. Here we are, and there's a heck of a lot more people out there who share the experience and enjoy learning more about it. It's just, too many of them can't say anything because of their careers or their reputation and so on and so forth. And you got to, respect that they really can't say anything, but they're there.
I'd like those people to reach out because
Yeah.
their voice needs to be heard. They've
Yeah.
got missing puzzle pieces, and if I
Yes.
can help in any way, I just didn't understand how drawing it. If they had a bad encounter, I could
Yeah.
see how that would be bad, but I could see how it'd be therapeutic too.
Yes.
So as long as what I'm doing is a good thing, then I'm all about it. I'm all about
Yeah.
just because.
I know one thing that I think that people don't quite understand, that as as a witness describes their experience, to an artist, such as yourself, you're going into so much detail because the artist asks for little details. Okay, how did the eyes look, and what way were they facing, and so you have to go deep into your memory and really draw out, uh, from your own experience and describe what it was that you saw and what you felt and what you felt that its emotions were. It's an extremely cathartic experience. It takes that weight off your shoulders, as a witness, that, you've
I can see that.
hidden this experience for so long, out of fear, of sharing it with other people. Um, but by describing and getting it out, it's just a weight off your shoulders. And I've seen people, and I don't know if you have also, experienced it, where people, they'll describe their experience to me, and they're in tears, absolute tears, just from the relief of, of sharing that experience. So it makes me feel so much better that I was able to help them in that one small way.
These are therapeutic for me too.
Yeah.
Even though I don't have much more to add. I try to remember all the details I can. It
Mm-hmm.
kind of gets faded over time, and for me, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's not as yesterday. You know, so if I can help someone kind of get there faster, you bet. Because there
Yeah.
was a whole year there where I didn't know who to turn to. I didn't know who I could trust. I didn't know who was gonna make fun of me, or I've made some enemies along the way, and I want to make friends.
Yes.
If I can, to me, that's what it's all about. Let's work together on something. You get further. Many hands make light work.
Yep.
Let's collaborate. Let's talk. Like really talk. Yeah, to me, the truth is there, and I think if we just got together more and really had deep, this conversation's great. I want to go deeper. I want to talk about, how Nephilim, and are they good? Are they bad? Are they both? Are they human? Are they animal? Are they angel? Are they something in between? Are they their own category? Not connected? I want to know.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know all the answers on that. And I think it's close. I think we'll get there.
I think so. We may not know all, but I think we'll get close, like you said. But I want to thank you again, Chris, for coming on.
Likewise.
We will arrange to get you and one of the other witnesses on together and do your
Sure.
artwork, and maybe you can get on to my friend's podcast. They're on Tuesday nights.
Okay.
So, yeah, so we'll see you on there.
I
But
feel like I'm just now getting comfortable where I could, I'm like getting relaxed. I'm like, all right, let's talk about this. I'm not, it's not like such a nerve wracking, I can think about what I want to say and say what
yeah,
I want, you know.
well,
At the,
good. Yeah, sorry that we have to end it here,
no,
but
it's great.
like
It's,
I
it's,
said,
it's great. It's great.
for me, it's late.
And no, I get it. It's been a long week already. So I get it.
Oh, but
Thank you
yeah.
again. I do appreciate it. And thanks to everybody watching. AOS Chris Miller.
All right. Good night.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And I know I said earlier that I'm going to take a break for the summer, but um, I'll do one here and there through the summer. I'm not going to do one every week, and I will be back on for the fall to go through it steady. It's just during the summertime. people are busy with other things also, and which makes me appreciate all of you coming on here. I do appreciate it so much. But we'll get Chris on again with the Dishizzle. Dishizzle, contact me. We'll try to arrange maybe in a few weeks getting you and Chris on together to do that drawing. So you hit me up on Messenger. So guys, again, I want to thank you for joining us. I will not be on next week, but we'll see what goes on. So thank you again. Thank you. God bless. Oh, I did want to say something that I forgot earlier whenever I was going through the announcements and so on. I want everyone to keep the people, the flood victims, in your prayers. Please keep them in your prayers. Standing stones. Um, yeah, maybe in a couple weeks I'll come back on and go over my experiences again. I've done it so many other times on previous shows. We can do an updated one. But yeah, keep the flood victims, from Texas, New Mexico, North Carolina, Ohio, here in Pennsylvania. I don't know where all. Um, there's been so many floods and so many storms and tornadoes. It's just been a crazy year. And, well, you guys know how I feel about that. At least most of you do. That there's a little bit of interference there from some 3-letter agencies, or 3 or 4 or 5-letter agencies, in my humble opinion. But yeah, guys, keep them in your prayers. I've had a few prayer requests that were sent to me. So, and if anyone else has any prayer requests, send me a message, or else just type here in the comments, real quick before I close it down for the night. Just type prayer request, and that's all. You don't have to go into detail. And we've got a bunch of prayer warriors on here, so we'll keep everyone in our prayers. So I think that's about it. God bless you guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I think that's going to be about it. Thank you. God bless. And Monkey Wench out.